As you all know, the search committee at Temple Beth-El is working diligently to find a replacement for our beloved Rabbi Gluck. Not that we could ever replace him, but obviously we have to have a rabbi as we march forward. The committee is looking at several candidates, and tonight we have the rare opportunity to include all of you here in the interview process. Now, I recognize it's not the normal thing to do to conduct an interview at an event such as tonight's Gala dinner. But we felt by taking a few moments of your time, we could share with you this delicate and well thought out process. So please join me in giving a warm Temple Beth-El welcome to the very prominent and esteemed Rabbi Morty Greenbaum. Welcome, Rabbi Morty.
I'd like to start off by saying shalom. Did you tell me?
Very, very, very soon.
I can see that. And thank you for having me here tonight for my opening interview with the search committee. Now, what do you have to know around here to get a Scotch soda date?
Rabbi Greenbaum, on behalf of Temple Beth-El, I'd like to welcome you to what I suspect, based on your credentials, will be the first of many meetings that you'll have for our search committee.
Well, thank you, John.
It's Jay, Rabbi.
Of course it is. Thank you, Jay. May I say how honored I am to be standing here at this joyous event tonight. I'm touched by the love the entire congregation has for you, Rabbi Gluck. And I can only wish that someday you'll be honoring me with such a dinner. Is there a chance that I could get one of those short ribs that is to go? I got a ride back to Poughkeepsie, and I got it for reflux. If I don't eat, I'll be like popping thumbs like milk bottles. So,
I'm sure we can work something out, Rabbi. So, Rabbi Morty, we at Temple Beth-El have been blessed for these past 33 years to have a rabbi that is extremely well versed in Torah. On a personal note, I would say, and I'm confident that many would concur, that Rabbi Gluck is a true Torah scholar. I'll tell you that our search committee is committed to finding a rabbi who will maintain the highest level of literary and theological knowledge of Torah.
well, I'll tell you, Jack.
It's still Jay.
Yes. Well, let me say, I don't want to brag, but when I was in rabbinical college, whenever the class was in a deep discussion of Torah, if we found ourselves pondering a verse that perplexed us, the class would look at me and they would say, it's time to holler for the scholar.
That's very impressive. So your fellow rabbinical students considered you to be the scholar.
No, I was the one who was going to hole and holler for the scholar.
I see. Well, Rabbi, as part of the interview process, the committee likes to, for lack of a better term, test your knowledge of Torah. As you know, the Torah can be rather confusing. For example, right from the start, in the book of Genesis, we have two different stories of creation. The question I prepared for you comes from the Parsha in the book of Numbers, which we are currently reading in our weekly Shabbat worship.
So you couldn't have started with something a little easier. Maybe a question about like good corned beef or kishka.
Now, honestly, Rabbi, the committee likes to base the questions on the Torah, and I don't believe there's any mention of corned beef or kishka in any of the 5 books of the Bible.
I beg to differ, my friend. It is a known fact that many of the Jewish delicacies which we all enjoy today have originated from Book 6.
Rabbi, I'm a little confused. There is no book 6. It's the 5 books of Moses.
See, this is why you need me at Beth-El. Book 6 had nothing to do with Moses. It was written by his cousin Sid.
Moses' cousin Sid. Well, we all know about his sister Miriam and his brother Aaron, but there's no mention in the Torah of Moses having a cousin Sid.
Well, Sid was a little on the quiet side. He wanted nothing to do with the whole Exodus or the Pharaoh. He was no fan of the beach, so the whole party with the sea thing, it just did not appeal to him at all.
I see. So then what exactly did Sid do?
Sid was a chef. He decided to write book 6, which is basically a cookbook for all the Jewish foods that we eat today.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. What did he specialize in? Was he a pastry chef? Was he a sous chef? A what? A sous chef.
Spoken love. Hit the whole order. Always looking to soup. I want to sous Sid the chef.
Rabbi, let's discuss book 6 another time. For now, I'd like to pose a question to you on Torah. And as I said, the question comes from the book of Numbers.
Numbers, huh? Well, Jerry, when I got the call from Amy Rubin about the interview, I was told there would be no math.
It's not that kind of numbers, Rabbi. Once I ask you the question, you'll have 60 seconds to respond. Please pay attention because this is very long and very complicated. Here we go. When Numbers begins, our people are still wandering in the desert. God tells Moses to conduct a census, and that is taken and recorded in detail. Then, everyone is assigned their respective duties and obligations according to the laws of holiness. Things seem to be going fine, but of course it isn't long before the people begin to complain about only having manna to eat, and they begin pining for the good old days in Egypt. Then the 12 spies are sent to Canaan and return with boigus galore about how the land is inhabited by giants who will squash us like grasshoppers. The kvetching continues with Korach's rebellion, and still more whining about not having water to drink. Moses gets so frustrated that he strikes the rock to draw the water, which costs him his chance to enter the promised land. But mitten in, between the counting and the kvetching, we have this completely out-of-place ritual about using a red heifer to purify one who comes into contact with a corpse.
Red heifer. Oh,
Yes, well, stick with me. The portion reads, "The Eternal One spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, 'This is the ritual law that the Eternal has commanded. Instruct the Israelites to bring you a red cow without blemish, in which there is no defect and on which no yoke has been laid. You shall give it to Eleazar the priest. It shall be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Eleazar the priest shall take some of the blood with his finger and sprinkle it 7 times toward the front of the tent of meeting.'"
so I,
He's still with me.
I'm right.
"The cow shall be burned in his sight. Its hide and flesh and blood shall be burned, its dung included. And the priest shall take cedar wood, hyssop, and crimson stuff, and throw them into the fire, consuming the cow. The priest shall wash his garments and bathe his body in water. After that, the priest may re-enter the camp, but he shall be impure until evening. He who performs the burning shall also wash those garments in water, bathe in water, and be impure until evening. A man who is pure shall gather up the ashes of the cow and deposit them outside the camp in a pure place to be kept for water of lustration for the Israelite community. It is for purgation."
Can you believe this? Well, let's go up here.
Pay attention. "He who gathers up the ashes of the cow shall also wash those clothes and be impure until evening. This shall be a permanent law for the Israelites and for the strangers who reside among them." And none other than Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs has noted that the law of the red heifer is the most incomprehensible in the entire Torah. Rabbi Yochanan went so far as to say that there is no explanation for it, and that it is fundamentally a test of our obedience to God's will. But Maimonides, the Rambam, said that where a reason for a commandment is not generally clear, there is in fact a reason. It's just not clear on the surface. This puts Maimonides fully at odds with Rabbi Yochanan. And so, my scholarly friend, the question is, who is correct? Is this just a mystery we're supposed to follow unquestioningly, or are we supposed to dig down and find a hidden meaning? You have 60 seconds to respond.
This is like Jeopardy.
45 seconds.
Can I phone a friend? Like, I think I got Ed Melberg's phone number.
30 seconds.
You know, Jay, your question intrigues me. I would say to you that I'm a little partial to Rabbi Sachs, but at the same time, I'm a little partial to the other guy.
Rabbi Yochanan?
Yeah, that. What I'm trying to say, Jay, is this seems like a kind of test. So, do you take the test and obey and hurry about purposes? Oh, do you try to explain it with the reason?
Rabbi, that is extraordinary. You took the question that I asked you, and you answered it by asking me the same question. Rabbi Gordon, you pulled a Rabbi Arnie on me.
We look a little alike, too.
You answered my question with a question. It's uncanny. It's like you're a clone of Rabbi Arnie. All you need are those colorful socks, and you're him.
Videotaping. 750 Amazon. I have to fix my pants. Wait. So I did this well. Does this mean I get the short rib?
I think we can work that out. Ladies and gentlemen of Warm Temple Beth-El, good evening to Rabbi Morty Greenbaum.
Please join with us in singing. If you'd like to stand up, you may. If you want to put an arm around somebody, that's also very
First of all, I want to welcome everyone, really not to Artie's retirement, but this is Sarah Gluck's support group that we're all gathering around here. Because clearly, best of luck to Sarah going forward. Like many of you, I'm wearing multiple hats. We're here as a congregant, I'm here as a congregant, as a friend, somebody who's worked with Artie, but also as one of his students. Sitting through his classes and listening to the sermons over the years. Our children have a Jewish identity because of Artie's leadership, because of his love, because of his caring. But I also get a chance to acknowledge the work that he's done beyond just our congregation, but at a statewide basis. So in the state of New Jersey, there are multiple ways you can acknowledge and recognize people. One of the highest, because we no longer do knighting, so I'm sorry, but one of the highest is giving out a resolution that is actually from both the Senate and the State Assembly. And this is, and I assure you, I'm not going to read this entire thing, but it is acknowledgement and thanks for not only what you've done for the community, but what you've done for our state, and just for everyone that you've touched over the years. So, Arnie, we wish you the very best, and thank you so much.
Temple member and artist extraordinaire. It will remain a temple Beth-El, where everyone who enters our sacred space will be reminded of what you meant to our community during your 33 years as our rabbi. With gratitude to Sarah Gluck and Robin Osmond for their input and artistic eye, Adriana describes the piece as follows. When I think about the profound impact Rabbi Gluck has had on our congregation, the image that immediately springs to mind is that of the powerful and timeless Jewish symbol, the Tree of Life. This metaphor perfectly captures the influence he has had on our community in so many ways. Undoubtedly, Rabbi Gluck has served as the sturdy trunk of our community for all these years, providing support, upholding us, and instilling in us the spiritual strength to aspire higher and flourish. I also chose to incorporate the motif of all 4 seasons into our tree of life, since Rabbi Gluck has been with each of us through the many seasons of our lives. From blessing our new babies to celebrating their B'nai Mitzvot, from guiding us through difficult transitions to honoring our successes, from officiating our weddings to accompanying us through our deepest losses. Rabbi Gluck has held up the branches and leaves of our community for 33 years. And as he departs, he leaves behind a congregation that stands strong and resilient, ready to continue blooming afresh with each passing spring. The chosen color scheme draws inspiration from the textiles that adorn the top of our beloved ark. And within the branches of the tree is a Torah verse deeply meaningful to Rabbi Gluck. Can you read that?
It's the verse that was quoted a number of times over the weekend. Kol ma'aseh yiyu shem shamayim, our actions for the sake of heaven.
And as Adriana writes, I hope this artwork will serve as an enduring reminder of what guided Rabbi Gluck during his time with us, and that it will perhaps remind us to tread in his footsteps as we, as is written here, let all our actions be for the sake of heaven. Thank you, Adriana.
In our spirits. In times of joy and challenge, personally and as a community, he has always found a way to help us reflect on our lives, good and bad, and to lift our spirits. Tonight it is our turn to help lift Rabbi Gluck's spirits as he approaches retirement. It's my privilege to present on behalf of our entire TBE community this special Simon Pierce decanter to Rabbi Gluck to memorialize his time with us. This beautiful decanter will hold all manner of spirits: water, wine, whiskey, and bourbon. And now, whenever Rabbi Gluck lifts his own spirits, he will quite literally be reminded of all of us. The inscription reads, L'chaim, with love, Temple Beth-El, 1991 to 2024. How will you keep in shape? How many rounds of golf will you play in? And perhaps most challenging of all, how will you find your golf ball when your drive invariably flies hard to the right and disappears into the rough? Oh, to the left, okay. These will help as well on the left. These golf balls have been marked especially for you, and they shouldn't be hard to find. And if someone else finds one, they'll be certain to know who to return it to. The golf balls read, Welcome to the Retired Rabbi's Club. We wish you many rounds of golf and not too many lost golf balls. Thank you for everything.
Oh, my goodness. I must confess that I am just overwhelmed. A little bit louder. That may be the first time someone ever asked me that. Just the whole weekend, the whole year, it's really been quite overwhelming. It's so beautiful, and I'm so, so grateful. I must confess, and I may have said this to some of you at some other point, that 33 years ago when we came from Israel to Temple Beth-El, I never imagined a day such as this. I never imagined that we would be here this long. I figured rabbis come to a community, you serve for a few years, this happens, that happens, who knows? You wind up going somewhere else, right? And I wondered, and I've thought many times about why it is that we're still here. And I think that the reason is you, all of you, and so many others who are no longer with us. But those with whom I've served on staff, those who are in lay leadership, the members of the community, And I would say that probably the secret sauce is this, as far as I'm concerned. First of all, the fact that you put up with me. Because I know that I'm not always easy. I have some pretty strong opinions and ideas about things, and sometimes push things a little bit. And somehow you manage to put up with that and sometimes ride along with it. But most of all, it's because the horizons never narrowed here for me. It wasn't for lack of other opportunities and possibilities that I stayed at Temple Beth-El, and I don't mean that in an egotistical way at all, but just as a matter of fact. But the truth is, I've always believed that those who move on need both a push and a pull. And I never felt a push from Temple Beth-El. There were pulls and interesting thoughts and opportunities, but there was always the depth of relationship and the connections, and there was always an encouragement by this community to keep growing individually, together, to find new opportunities, new possibilities. Some of them were crazy, some of them we tried things that failed. We tried to create a Jewish day school at Temple Beth-El. It lasted 2 years, but we did it. We did it, and the leadership lined up behind it, and it was a little bit of a wing and a prayer, and so it didn't last, but we did it. We tried it. There's so many other things that have lasted. Remember when I came, I asked, what are we doing to deal with the issue of homelessness in Somerset County? And here we are, 33 years later, still hosting with Home, one of the anchor congregations. And I would say that overall it's because there's a certain spirit about this community. I felt from the very beginning, when I came to interview, there was a certain spirit among the people, first of all, camaraderie among, and I understand, by the way, it's in the search committee that has been formed now to find the next settled rabbi for this community, the same type of spirit that I understood was going on in the committee that ultimately invited me to Temple Beth-El, that same kind of spirit, same type of camaraderie, some type of looking forward, reaching is there as well. And I felt always that there were open horizons before me and partners willing to reach and to dream, that this was an aspirational community. And that was my fit. And it's been an unbelievable ride. And I'm so grateful. And I see this not as an end, but the beginning of the next chapter. And my most important priority is the health and well-being of this community. And I have a request of all of you. The best thing you can do to honor me is to be strong in your commitment and in your desire to strengthen and support this community. Temple Beth-El's success will be, going forward, will be the greatest gift that you can give to me. And that you should also be there for one another. You've opened your hearts and you've opened your homes and you've opened your lives to let me be with you in all these extraordinary moments of highs and lows in your lives. And I encourage you, first of all, to welcome Rabbi Katz into your lives, and whoever will follow him, whoever she or he may be, and to embrace them and to grow with them, to support them, to have the same type of partnership that we've had together. Let that be the hallmark of what happens going forward. So all I have tonight is gratitude. Gratitude for these years together. Sarah and I look forward, we're remaining in the community. We want to make sure we're not in the way. I'll be talking about this at our congregational meeting, and I'll be writing to you about this, about how we want to make sure that the new rabbis succeed and not to be in the way of that. But we look forward to being back with you and to continuing the journey together. And we wish you every blessing, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for me, for allowing me to be part of your lives, for our family. And I say to you all, l'chaim, may you be blessed with good life, with long life, with good health, and every joy and blessing in the world. Thank you so much.
Okay, as someone famous once said, let's dance, let's get this party started.